Okay, some people and even some economists have said that we are in a unusual position where our supply chains and our factories and everything have become almost too efficient, and they've become too good at cutting the fat to the point where we're now underemployed. There's not enough jobs for all the people because we've got machines that can do so much for so little. And that maybe a step backward is actually a good thing overall, because then maybe if it's a little bit more expensive to make a product, but it's creating more jobs, which is overall good for the economy. What do you buy into that, or do you think that's a bunch of silliness?
Look, I actually do. There's some technology that's coming forward that is amazing, but I don't think it's going to be good for society. Like, if you lose the bottom 40% of labor to robots, like, for example, I watched a clip the other day where a guy pulled up, I don't know, it was in Ohio or something, and there was a service station. It was at night time, and there was no human being there at the service station. You had to swipe your card. He said, check this out. Walked in, it's just all the food and chips and drinks and things all just behind vending machines. Yep, no worries. And then he went to the toilets, and it said, the code for this toilet is on the bottom of your fuel receipt. He said that there was not a human being there, right? And so you look at that and go, like, once upon a time, if somebody was unskilled, they could still contribute to society. And it's not about whether they receive the money, because in theory, universal basic income will give them the minimum wage. But it's about contributing to society. And when you don't contribute to society, you don't feel, there's a couple of things. You don't feel involved in that society. You don't warm spiritually and emotionally to that society. And what happens is you will not defend that society. Mate, do you think someone on universal basic income is going to pick up a rifle? I doubt it. Because they're not, because their blood, sweat, and tears hasn't gone into making their little patch, right? And
then self-esteem, and like you said, self-esteem, suicide rates, all that stuff. If you feel like you don't have anything to live for, then what are you going to do?
The most dangerous people are the people who have nothing to live for. I've told my wife, actually, my son still doesn't understand that, because my wife's sort of like, oh, why would they do that? Why would that person do that? I'm saying, because if they got nothing to live for, they're the most dangerous people. Oh, surely they wouldn't do that. They know they'd go to jail. I'm like, they don't care. They got nothing to live for. It makes them dangerous. Whether they're skilled at being a criminal or not, this makes them dangerous, right? And so people with nothing to live for, or nothing to get out of bed for, mate, they're either very dangerous or they're dangerous themselves. So, like, I hope we don't get down that society. Sometimes, like, I like Elon Musk, right? He's doing some amazing stuff, but there's a reason technology has been withheld for the last 10 or 15 years that could replace a third of the workforce already. It already exists, but society can't handle it. And I don't think it ever can handle it with the systems that we have at the moment. We don't have, and this is for those people out there, we know we're talking money and finance and that, but we aren't spiritually aligned enough. And whatever you think spirituality is, we're not spiritually aligned enough to be nice enough to each other to have everyone not working. We're just not. We're just greedy, and it's still combative, climb to the top of the pile. And so then it can't work, right? So we haven't progressed enough. We're not evolved enough. And don't think that, the World Economic Forum and the Davos guys are gonna somehow get us all evolved enough and aligned enough. They just want to be on the very, 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 very top of the pile, and we're all at the very, 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 very bottom. So look, when the economists talk about decoupling, I think that upsets the Great Reset with a bit. It probably lets them consolidate in some areas. Ukraine, one of those. But I think it's just going to be probably a necessary downshift of structures with globalization. Now it's going to mean a slowdown or a decrease in living standards. And the lowest on the pile is going to get hurt. I'm hoping the governments are smart enough to cushion it a bit. That's my theory.
Yeah, I've always said if you think that we are so civilized and we're not just apes, all you have to do is look at video of a Black Friday and people stepping over each other to get the newest iPhone, and you can tell that we're not that civilized.
Oh man.
Have you ever seen those videos where it's like people almost killing each other at the front of Walmart just so they can get the new iPad,
Yeah.
or the first guy in the store gets a TV for half price or something like that, and they
I saw an old
they
one.
trample each other, and they're stepping on people,
Yeah.
stepping on old ladies' heads, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
I saw an old one where the glass must have been old-fashioned glass that wasn't reinforced, and the glass on them just, and they all spilled through onto all this broken glass, like shattered into little bits. Like
My
it was
goodness.
still that sort of glass, but it wasn't the double glazed perspex that they now have. I mean, after we had lots of these, well,
That's
look, mate,
probably why.
a lot of the stores, well, a lot of the stores have different glass now. After the peaceful BLM riots in the US, shot spec glass is almost anti-bloody hammer. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
Good times.